my very dear friend. He's your friend, Professor Edindi Buago, a professor of public health medicine and the team lead for Community Positive Health Attitude Initiative. We're just trying to see as much as possible how we can get you the authentic information that will make you live long, healthy, and happy. And today we are talking about the avoidance of drug misuse. That's drug abuse. It's killed so many people, And then, in fact, even WHO noted that about 50% of medications that are prescribed or taken are wrongly done. They are irrationally done. They are not properly done. So we want to highlight this and encourage you to do the right things. People have taken medicine they shouldn't take and die. People have been given drugs. They go home, take it wrongly, and they die. My dear friends, let's be aware these things are possible. If you're sick and the doctor prescribes a drug for you, it's important to let him discuss with him the dosage and how long you take it. Don't go about because your neighbor had a similar AMS. You go and take his or her own medicine and you use it. It might not be exactly the same. For instance, if it is medicine for blood pressure, certainly your blood pressure and his or her own won't be the same. His might be a lot higher when he was given that dosage. Your own might be moderate hypertension. And once you take that his dosage, it will push your own blood pressure so low that you struggle for your life. So please, be cautious about these things. And the very little things you do that you don't think, you ignore, that you don't know it matters and it kills it. Even drugs, when you're giving a drug, check the expiry date. So many have died because they took expired drugs. One, the drugs might not be working and they keep taking it. And the drug is hurting their liver or their kidneys. So it's always good to be cautious about those little things about the drugs you take. And don't put pressure on doctors. Doctor, you must give me this medicine. That is the one that cured my friend. Some young doctors might oblige you, thinking you take it for a while or two, but you end up taking it for so long and you might have problems. So, and there are drugs, incidentally, in low and middle income countries, nobody bothers about over-the-counter drugs and prescription drugs. People abuse them. Like prescription drugs, such as the ones that you use for sleep, like Valium and Lexotan and all that. People go and buy them and take so much of it, and they could hurt them. And these drugs are habit forming. You keep taking them and you keep wanting more, and your tolerance keeps going lower, going higher. Your tolerance keeps increasing and you keep taking more of those drugs. So please don't abuse drugs. Don't take drugs that you're not prescribed. Don't take drugs that your neighbor is taking. These are little things that have really hurt a lot of people. And there's an aspect of this drug abuse that we need to watch out for. There are these herbal medicine. Okay, aside before the herbal medicine, you'll find out that some of these non-prescription drugs, like even antibiotics, you go any little thing you want to give your children or take antibiotics. Once you're doing it that way, they will keep developing tolerance, with the effect that eventually when they are sick and you give them the appropriate dose, it won't work. So it's so dangerous. You cut your life short by taking drugs not the way you are prescribed. Take drugs how you are prescribed, and take only drugs that you are given. We are going into herbal medication. Some believe, herbal medication, is just using plants to treat. Fine, it's an alternative form of medication. In fact, so many of these drugs that we use now, even there's this popular heart drug called digitalis, is very, very potent. It was gotten from a plant called foxglove, But if you prepare it in a herbal way, you won't be able to know the dose and the quantity you're taking. That thing has killed so many people, So if you're going to take herbal medication, be very careful. Incidentally, in more developed countries, there are boards for alternative medicine practice. It could be around, but those ones function very well. So the practice of using herbal medication, and then some people just believe that like people say, if you have stroke, you don't need to take injection, you take herbal medication. So many have died. It's a form of drug abuse. It's not cut out for that, So when you're taking herbal medication, be careful about the quantity and dose you take. And don't think, so many of them claim that this herbal medication does everything. It's not possible. In fact, most of the orthodox medication we're using, we extracted from herbal medication. So that is it. If it is that wonderful, science would have, and in due course will discover it and get out the active ingredient and formulate it in such a way that you have a dose, you have a duration, not just keep drinking. I know people who have died. People are diabetic. They have diabetic food. They are dying. Their leg is going to be cut off. They stopped orthodox medication, went to herbal medication. Of course, only succeeded in hastening their death. So my dear friends, don't abuse drugs. Don't misuse drugs. Always watch out for the expiry date of the drugs you use. Don't use drugs because your neighbor is using it. Essentially, it's not the same thing. And don't keep buying any drug, from the counter and use it over there, especially those prescription drugs. Overuse of those prescription drugs has made so many people mad. Some have used drugs that eventually made them commit suicide. So be careful. Drug misuse. If you want to live long, live healthy, and live happy, watch how you use drugs. Don't abuse drugs. And of course, let me briefly touch these ones they call supplements. Supplements are supposed to be supportive. They are supposed to have micronutrients that will help you. But don't think they do everything. Some again leave seeking proper medical advice and they go supplement. Your neighbor told you he took this kind of supplement. There was a time that thing was so much in vogue. But of course, falsehood doesn't last forever. Some pregnant women will leave off taking the routine iron that they are required to take, calcium, folic acid, and all those things. And they tell you they have one formulation of supplement they're taking. Eventually, so many of them ended up during delivery being so anemic that they ended up being transfused. So my dear friends, let's wake up. Let's seek good information and let's do the things that will keep us alive and healthy. Our loved ones, they need us. They need us, honestly. Life is sweet if you try and make efforts to make it in such a way that is sweet. And if you take steps that will make you live long, live healthy, and live happy. So that is our message from Community Positive Health Attitude Initiative. Like I keep saying, we have detailed in our blogs. We publish properly researched information in any of these things I'm telling you. So thank you so much, and may God bless you. Stay healthy, live long, and then be happy. Thank you.